Welcome to the Bearded Bro Show podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dustin, and we are forever joined by
Trev.
Oh, you didn't give me the as always at the
Trev,
end of
as always. What's going on, guys? I love you so much.
There it is, Trev.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna throw him off.
Yeah, we're testing out a new feature here. Hopefully this works out. If you guys are watching this, or rather listening to it, then it worked.
Yeah. And so apologies. What?
Apologies.
Okay. I'm not even gonna. Dustin can say what that sounded like. But
okay, so instead of makeup sex, can we just call it apologizing now?
What? No. I bet there's somebody that's thought of that.
Give you this apologies.
No.
And then you have kids and you're stuck for 18 years.
What a way to begin. And so yeah, anyway, sorry, I'll just say that if we have any technical difficulties in this, because this is via StreamYard through the record only mode, so we're just gonna see how this works out, because it's kind of depend on me and Dustin's internet being able to interact. So hopefully it'll be good. But bear with us if we have the computer's going off. If we have some problems like that, then just bear with us. We'll get it straightened out. But yeah.
We will. Here we are on Monday at like 9 p.m. my time. 8 p.m. Trav's time. Fuck time zones, by the way. I hate time differences. Because it's like all this shit is like dropping at night, and it's like, oh yeah, cool. Like I wanted to watch the new Conjuring movie on HBO Max, which I did. By the way, I liked it. I really liked it, and I was super excited because our buddy Anthony Perez like he gave us like a triple feature review with like the 3 Conjuring movies, and that was like the first time I had some disagreements with Anthony in one of his reviews. And it was about the 3rd Conjuring movie. And I was just like, I really think that the story was great. Like, we're kind of getting into a movie review here, but if you didn't watch it, I'm not going to like spoil too much. If you watched the first 2, the first one was good. It was super scary. Second one was like unnerving. I wouldn't say that it was necessarily scary. It was kind of unnerving. The third one, they didn't really try to hit you with the jump scares, but it was just a solid, just well done story. Like it just, I thought it was great. That's all I'm going to say. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Watch all 3. They're on HBO Max. If you are not watching HBO Max by now, like what the hell are you doing anyway?
Right. There's a lot of good stuff being added. Like I really want to watch In the Heights. Okay. And it's only because of Anthony. Like I legitimately I watched his review and he was so sold on it. And I watched somebody else. I forgot who it was. I think it was somebody in that squad. I called him the Perez squad, and he laughs about that all the time. But Perez peeps, that's what but I just call him the squad all the time. But yeah, one of them did that too. I don't remember who it was. But anyway, somebody else loved it as well, and I was like, okay, like I it's just one of those things. Like this is a situation where this is a movie that I wouldn't have even really thought about watching, or like, and it wouldn't be because of like, it just would have been because I didn't see anything about it. Like Perez was like the one thing that like, okay, I saw more footage than I have ever seen of it in his review, and I was like, okay, and I like music films and stuff like that. Not really. It kind of depends with musicals for me. Like Rocket Man was like a really good musical, if you want to count it as a musical, where they just like, okay, the story's going, they break out into song, stuff like that. Like really well done with that. But just because of people praising it and Rotten Tomatoes score and all this stuff, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm always down and always got my ears open for like good movies to watch. So I've just, when it's recommended so hard and then you want to watch it, and because of him and Z Review getting the interview with the guy that was in Father's Legacy, and he's the director, it made me want to watch that as well. Like literally, like I haven't seen that, and I'm like, I gotta see this because of like my buddies are like seeing this and interviewing the director. Like that's nuts. Like they just congrats to you guys, because whenever whatever Jason Mack is like a really big director in the future, y'all will be able to say like you guys interviewed the guy. Like that's crazy. And it was Z Review's like second live stream to ever do. He was like, yeah, this is my only second live stream, and he was like, when did you do the first one? Last night to test for this. It's just like it's great. It's great stuff. But
I think
yeah.
I know there's something coming to HBO Max July 12th, and I can't remember what it is, but it's something I want to see. And then I know August 6th, the Suicide Squad movie is going to be on there. What's coming July 12th? I got to look this up because I literally
July
just
9th
saw.
is like Black Widow, but that's theaters.
No, there was something. Let me look it up because I saw the advertisement, and I know August 6th is. Oh.
You know what's funny about that is me and Ashley's first date was Suicide Squad, and it came out in August of that year. And it's like just so coincidental that like it's August again. It's really, I don't know if they did that on purpose.
I don't know. I'm trying to see. Space Jam, July 16th.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was. And then the Suicide Squad on August 6th. Which, the whole Space Jam thing, I love the original one.
I'm not hyped until I watch it. I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't have any excitement.
Here's my thing, though. I used to like LeBron James, but to be honest, with over the last couple years, I can't fucking stand the guy anymore. I can't stand him as a person. I think he's a big I don't even appreciate him much as an athlete anymore. Like he is such a goddamn baby about everything. And like he just gets away with so much. Like it's just he is so fucking self-entitled anymore that like I personally cannot stand him.
You're more of the sports guy out of the two of us, so I mean you would know more. I really don't know really anything about him. I didn't really know. I mean I knew some details about Kobe, but I never really never really knew much. And I know like, Dayton Live Show, he's like the big sports follower and like one of the bigger sports followers out of the circle of friends I have on the internet. So he'd probably know more about that. I don't know. Like I just know that it's kind of, to me, it's just like rather, LeBron, whatever he's like, it's kind of, there's this cheap factor feeling to me that they're just bringing in another basketball guy to do the second one. Like I just like it didn't have to follow exactly, and I'm hoping that it's not too much of like the same thing. Like give me a reason that the stakes are high again, and that like there's something about like if they don't do this thing, the tunes could be just erased forever or something. Like okay. Like, you got me a little more, but, like, Like, I don't think I'll be excited about it till I'm sitting there watching the movie.
I mean, I'm definitely going to watch it just because, again, I'm such a fan of the first one. But I just don't know. I'm going to have to, like, look past LeBron being a fucking moron, I think, to, like,
and
really
that's hard whenever you
kind of
already dislike somebody and you're watching a movie, and it's, like, hard to, like, it's a thing.
Yeah, it is what it is. But Suicide Squad, I'm really looking forward to that. Obviously, make like Margot Robbie. Pff, come on. Like
you guys don't even know. You guys don't even know how much Thomas and Danielle have messed with me in the past while after they heard that episode where Dustin said something about Margot Robbie's butthole, and then it's been an inside joke just so many times now. And that's immediately what I flash back to is just like how, I mean, that episode's great. Like when me and Ashley watched it all the way to our like anniversary trip, like, or listened to it, watched it, whatever. Like it's so funny and one of our best episodes, but it's just like, let's just say that joke follows me. It just like, and how much they pointed out, like, you sounded like me, and they were like, you sounded so uncomfortable, and I'm just like, it's not like, I know it's like, I know they know me as like the guy that doesn't go around like obviously talking like Dustin, but
Right.
but it's like, but I try to explain to them whenever they say that, I'm like, well, I really wasn't, because it was fun. Like, we were just having fun. Like, I'm not,
But
I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but
I feel like too. I mean, that's just how I am. Like I say what comes to my mind, and there's like a lot of the times there's just no filter, and I feel like people either like that about me or they hate that about me, and I feel like, I don't know, like, I feel like you truly can't be friends with me if you can't like handle me when I'm like that, and that's just how it is. Like, but how I am.
yeah.
We can take it back to the GTA days, and I'm like, why do we have to? Gerald has a whole gaggle of goons that can do this. Like, why do we have to do it? Why do we have to get his cocaine or meth or whatever?
That's my exit.
That's my exit.
And me and Ashley still use that joke to this day when we're taking an exit. Not every time, but it comes up every now and then.
And
you know what?
So
and here's proof to Dustin that I think more people think that you're funny than you probably believe, because like, you'll get Ashley all the time just when you're streaming or something. You'll just say something and then she's over there giggling, and I'm just like,
see, like,
and that's the thing. It's like, you're not even thinking about it, and I know, and I'm aware watching you, like, you're not thinking about, like, you kind of just do these like just kind of these moments, whatever you call that, the drum thing. It's just like, you just say these things.
It's like a punchline. Like, at the end of a joke, it just kind of happens.
I don't know why I didn't think of that word, but yeah, you just say these things that make yourself laugh too. So it just makes it all that much, because you'll say it and I'll hear you literally laugh to yourself, because I don't think you even knew it came out until you just heard yourself. It's like you process what you said and then you'll laugh about it. I'm trying to think of some really good examples, but there's so much all the time. But yeah, you'll just make people laugh.
So I had something. So we were in the grocery store one day, and my son loves oatmeal cream pies. And he threw the box in the cart. We're like, yeah, get whatever you want. He's all excited. And he's like, I want oatmeal cream pies. And Trista's like, you like oatmeal cream pies? And I was like, you like cream pies. So like, what's that? And she's like, shut the fuck.
Oh, jeez. That is definitely an example of something that would have just came out without you thinking about it.
It just happens. I noticed it too, like when I play games and there's like a butt, I'm like, oh, look at that ass. Like, it just it's just, but the thing, like, I don't find myself funny. Sometimes I think I say things that are really funny, but then like Trista just looks at me and she's like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, yeah. you're not funny. And I'm like, well, like, okay.
Okay, while you were saying that, I was like, really, I'm trying to think, and then I realized something. Okay, so I don't even remember when this was. Was this on like a stream, or were we?
If you refresh my memory, I'll probably be able to tell you. Like,
it was more recent because it was Modern Warfare, but I feel like okay. Wait a second, we were playing, whatever it's called, the 2-on-2 thing.
Was this back when we were playing COD?
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember what we were doing. If we were recording it, streaming it.
I think we were just playing. I don't think it was for anything. I believe we were just playing for fun.
Okay, but what comes to mind is this is a definite prime example of something Dustin would just say without thinking about it. Is like whenever you lose and you have to go to the gulag. And you're like, you said something like, I'm ready to get my butt cheeks clapped in the gulag. And I'll always remember that, because it got Ashley as well. Because I told her about it, and then she died, and I was just like, man.
Oh, I was streaming it. I was playing with my cousin. That's what it was. I was playing Warzone. Yeah, I remember that. I was
And
like,
we
"Time
used to
get back to
record
weapons."
gameplay for the podcast, so I was thinking maybe it was that, but I don't know. It just it's the speed of it. You have a speed as to what you say, and like higher pitched. So it's just like when you just say things, just like it just hits you, I guess. I don't know. But
You should hear me. Okay, when I play Fortnite with my wife and kids, right? Mostly with my wife, like, and I'll be getting shot, and like it gets to the point where they fucking just hammer my face with their bullets, and I'm just like trying to shoot them, and even though my crosshair's right on them, the game just fucks me in the ass like with sandpaper. It just doesn't care.
exactly.
And like,
there you go. You did it again.
See, I can't help it. And I'm getting hit. I'm just watching my shield go, then my health goes, and like before I even die, I'm motherfucking this kid into next week. I'm like, yeah, you're not even fucking good. You're not even fucking good. And I'm like dead. And I'm still talking shit to him. Yeah,
that's how you know you're into the game.
Yeah, I get into it. But you know what? Like, we have fun doing it. And like, to me, there's like memories there. I don't know. Like, it's just, I enjoy it. And it's nice. It's nice. It's something we can do together because like, I've been really wanting to play disc golf, right? And where I'm at in Pennsylvania, dude, the humidity has been
It's so hot out, dude.
It's been unbearable. Like the last time that we went to play, Tristan and I got like 3 holes in, and I mean, we were sweating so bad that I was like, look, we got to stop. Like as much as I want to keep going and I want to throw my favorite hole where we play, I was like, I can't. I was like, we gotta go. And then it's just like, of course, like today it was a lot cooler out, like 65, 66 degrees, perfect. Problem is it literally stormed all night and all day. So it was just wet out.
Yeah. I don't even tell you about like, I mean, it wasn't really much to tell. I was just kind of thinking like whenever it happened, I mean, there's enough there to, I guess, talk about it. But like yesterday, I sent Dustin, like, I don't remember, because I sent a few people all this. I snapped Ashley in half. Just kidding. But I Snapchatted her and like sent her, and like we have this whole kind of joke about like, oh, people ew, and she always says ew or whatever. So so basically, long story short, I have changed my availability days at work to Sunday, Monday, and this is the first like my quote unquote weekend to like try that. So I still feel weird. I still feel like tomorrow's going to be Thursday, and it's going to take like a couple weeks to get used to it. But one thing that I literally did not take into account with switching my days, and again, I mean, I don't have any regrets even with this fact, but it still made me really sad. So out of any days of my days off, I'm probably going to pick the first day to like go play disc. I mean, I have played the second day sometimes, but usually I take my second day to like, okay, get everything done that you want to do, like editing and anything with my videos or my channel, but also like rest and kind of just stay in the zone, stay at the house. So I picked yesterday to play, and it's been a while. Like I played a disc with Ryan the other day. That was amazing because that had been like forever, but I was like, I'm going to go try it out by myself, and I knew it was going to be hot. So I went, and I literally like I had this click in my head, like, oh my gosh, like there are so many people. Like I have never been to that park, I guess, on a weekend before. I don't know, maybe I have, and there just wasn't as much people that time. But like I literally pull up, and they have just like one little kind of square parking lot there for parking near the holes and all that, but it's also for like because the lake is right in front of there, and I've sent Dustin pictures of the lake before. Beautiful out there, but like full of people in the shallow parts, like just full of them. And like I just saw this sea of people, and by the pavilion thing, if that's even what it's called,
it is
just the rat plague of people. And I'm thinking, is this like all one big get together, or is this like all a mixture? Like I just had never seen it that busy. So much so that in front of me is like the street down to that parking lot, and every few inches is just like there's just cars like along the side as well. And so I'm thinking, and I'm like, I'm going like, there's a left turn into that gate where it goes down to that parking lot. And like I'm behind one of the cars that's parked because I didn't know where to go because there was cars like coming toward me and I had to kind of move, so I just parked behind. But I knew that couldn't be my spot because that's like I'm like right beside the open gate. Like it's just not a parking spot technically. So I just sat there for a minute thinking, like, am I even gonna play? Like, is this like it just immediately like ruined like just everything in my head just because it's hot out. There's a lot of people. It smelled good though. I told Ashley about that. There was someone barbecuing, so it smelled amazing. But so I turn around and go back sort of to the entrance, and there's a lot more spaces going that way for like an on the side of the road type parking or kind of in the ditch. So I just kind of park behind one of them and just think to myself, all right, I see way too many people at hole 1. So I'm just gonna play just one of them. Like because I noticed there wasn't a lot of people playing disc. Like that's the one thing that I kind of realized was like, okay, wait, calm down. Just evaluate the situation. Is like this a big disc party thing? Not really. It was just, people cooking at the pavilion, people in the lake, which is across from the disc course. So I just kind of was like, all right, pick one. And I think I'm pretty sure I went to hole 8, but then I backtracked because I saw nobody was at 7, and I think that one's 7. I'm not 100% on the numbers, but there's that throw that I've sent Dustin being like, hey, what am I doing wrong? And that it's like a big right across the field, where pretty much like where the hole is though is like that's where the people are. But it's like I wasn't like being like, oh, I can't get near people. I just was being mindful of like, okay, I don't want to throw it into a crowd of people, especially like second or third throw. I'm gonna get it closer because I'm still working on being able to throw it as hard as I can the first time, but it never makes it like down there. It's always like at least halfway. And the irony of all this is I was playing really good. I was actually playing good for some reason. And but so I continued. I kept playing from like that point. And it was good, but yeah, going back to what Dustin said, it was so freaking hot. We're like 2 or 3 holes in. I am like, I told Ashley because she went to work at this point, and I told her like, it's been so long since I have been like drenched in sweat in that way, like probably since last summer, but like literally, like my shirt was like soaked. It like looked like I had just drowned by a freaking water hose. So I was dying, but I pressed on. Kept going. There's like the other part. My favorite part personally is the you cross the road where you come into to get to the other side, and it's actually kind of quite a walk. Quite a walk.
Quite of a walk.
And there was some more people playing at these last holes. This is like, I don't know how many. It's like, it goes all the way to 18, but I think it's from like 15, maybe something like that. But, so I go over there and there's people playing ahead of me, but it's one of those situations where you just wait till they're kind of done. I mean, depending on, if they're like right in front of me throwing, I'm not going to throw, but they're almost done. So I throw, and, I get down a couple more holes, and at this point it's definitely like past death. Like I'm already just like, and I didn't bring water and I should have. I get to this point, and this is like, and I didn't even tell Dustin this, so I'll just kind of get his opinion on this as a disc player, because I feel like it is a very prominent, it's an issue, and it's something that you've described in an episode before, asking people to move and all this stuff. But I get to this point. It's actually that hole where it's off the ground or whatever you call that.
It's an elevated basket.
Yeah, elevated basket. I'll learn these words. But there's just these three girls just in that field. Now, I'll give them this. Like, that's a nice field, okay, for a little picnic or whatever, but they have a towel laid out. And now they're not right in the middle. They're not like right directly. Like, if I throw, it's definitely going to hit them. They're kind of a little to the left outward. But it still was like, I still was so frustrated. I get there, and this is one of my favorite holes, and I'm just like, really? Like, I didn't say anything, but that's kind of the problem with the whole thing. I want to know his opinion, but I skip it. I walk straight across to the other one, and then at that hole, it's the freaking forest one where like you have trees, literally like you have to throw really straight into a narrow kind of gap in front of you to get it there, or else you're just throwing it into the trees. And that's the point of the hole. It kind of it tests your skills. It's like you have to really throw pretty straight or try to get it to cover around a bunch of trees. But I always throw it into like the left of the trees, kind of near the field that you come from. Like, and it's so stupid. It's always a bad throw at that one. And after that one, I was so hot and like, so just that feeling when you're just so dead and so thirsty that I just thought to myself, especially after those girls thing, I was just like, you know what? It's quite a hike back to the car, and my car's also in the sun. I'm going to get going so I can get home and shower. So I just left, and I wanted to play more. It was just too hot, that was the kicker. Those girls were just the kicker. I was just like, why? Like, why would you? This is obviously like where people are going to throw. And I know that in your situation, you probably would have said something. You probably would have been like rather yell it or approach them, because they're kind of a ways out where you have to yell pretty loud for them to hear you. But I don't know. Would you I guess depending on how you were feeling, if you were as hot as I was, you might not have done anything, but I'm curious on how you look at that, because I know you've like had to tell people like, hey, if this hits you, feel this, like this is gonna like
it's gonna hurt. Like,
and so
it's not gonna feel good. I mean,
it would have been fine to throw, but I would have needed to be a good person and like actually warn them instead of it be a surprise. Like that's how in the way they were. It was like in a position where if I throw and this thing glides to the right and actually perfectly, cuts left again, it's gonna, they actually should be like to the right to be safer, but they were to the left of the field. So yeah, just irritating.
I mean, I've had situations too. And it's funny because like it was on the same hole both times that I've ever had like an issue with people being in the way. A lot of I've had times too. There's been a time where I was playing with Trista where we stood on the tee pad and we just didn't say anything, and the people turned to look at us and kind of like got like, oh fuck, like they're gonna throw hit, and they move. But there was one time I was playing with Eric, and I honestly, I swear I had it on video. I swear we were recording, but there was a group of people set up with like lawn chairs off to the right, and it's like
why right here? Like when people are gonna throw.
It's like they weren't in the way, but they were in the way. You know what I mean? Like I could have easily avoided them.
They're in the way enough where it throws you off thinking about it. Like that's my problem. It's like exactly I want to throw so bad, but then I'm like, I'm almost ashamed to try to throw in case it does hurt somebody. I don't want to hurt anybody with my disc, like obviously, but I do kind of have that, like, I don't really have sympathy for you though if like you're literally planning to sit in this field and just have a picnic. Like, why right here? There's benches, there's a park area, there's a lake. Like, I understand if you're trying to get away from all the people or whatever, but at least be like some yards away from literally the general area where it's gonna land. Like, it would be in that sort of circle.
Yeah, it would have been. It really just comes down to like being mindful. I mean, it's a public park. People are going to be where they want to be, and that's fine. But you have to be mindful. And I remember the situation with the people sitting in the chairs. Is like I was like looking at them, and Eric was like looking at them, and I was like, "Hey, like we're gonna throw, like just a heads up." And they just looked at us and didn't say anything. And I'm like, well, okay, well, fuck it. Like, obviously they don't care. I mean, like, I'm here, like, I'm throwing. Fuck, like, I don't care at this point. You know, like, I can avoid them, but it's gonna fuck up me. It's gonna fuck me up because like they're sitting where my disc like flies normally, right? Because like the thing about playing disc golf, like once you learn to throw like the different lines and you play a course enough, you kind of develop a routine, right? Like you're like, okay, like if I throw it on this line, like I know where my disc is gonna land. And that's the whole point. Like the whole point is like to better yourself with it. So, you know, like they were just where I wanted to throw because at this point, like I was decent. Like I didn't have like the distance or the technique that I had now. So like I was still very much fresh to it. Where at any given moment, you know, if I let go of that disc late, line drive straight to somebody's forehead. Like, I mean, it's just, it's a given.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was like, hey, like, we're going to throw, you know, is that okay? And they just, they looked at us and they didn't say anything and they didn't look mad about it. I'm like, okay. So we threw and I got the most disgusted look from that. Like, I walked over there to my disc and I didn't even come close to them. Every single person was like 8 people. They all turned around and just stared at me with this look like, why the fuck would you even do that? And it's just like, you know what? Like, this is just the way I look at it. Like, if you want to sit there and you warn people, you know, and I've had to say before, like, once this disc is out of my hands, that's it. You know, it's all on the wind. If you get hit, I'm not responsible for it. You are sitting in the middle of a public disc golf course. I understand it's a public park, but if you get hit, there ain't nothing I can do about it. I gave you the warning. I gave you the heads up. If you choose to sit there and you choose to be an idiot and you get fucking nailed with it, it's not going to feel good. You're going to be pissed off. It's going to ruin your day. And I'm going to continue to play my fucking hole because I don't give a shit at that point because you were told.
Yeah. And
but like,
yeah,
with your situation, I probably would have just ran up there real quick and been like, hey, look, just so you know, I'm going to be throwing from right back there. You guys are somewhat in the way, just giving you a heads up. You can move if you want to. If not, just know that once this disc is out of my hand, it's out of my control. And if you want to, like, you can see how blunt this edge is. It can be sharp and it can hurt if it hits you. So just a heads up, do what you want. And I'd fucking go on my way right back to the tee pad. You get hit, you get hit.
Yeah, and I feel like if I wasn't sweating my balls off out there, it probably would have been different because I would have where the tee pad is, it's shady and the field is out in the open in the sun. So I just feel like it was my brain just being like, I don't feel like talking to them. I just don't, you know. And I'm more reclusive about that kind of thing than Dustin for sure. But I was still relying on it being like. It's all, I just blame it on, I blame it on what it was like out there mostly. It was so freaking hot, like so bad. And a little bit of inspiration is the next hole is in the trees. So that was another thought I had is like, I'm just going to walk right past them, not even look at them and just keep going. Cause I'm just freaking, I'm looking like a freaking pancake with syrup.
and I just don't want to sound like an asshole either when I say like I don't care if they get hit because I don't. But you know,
right. And I mean, if anything, they can watch where it's coming from themselves and like, you know, I don't know, like dodge it.
I warn people, like I said, I've warned people like, hey, heads up. And if you throw it and you don't warn them and you yell 4, which means like watch out or heads up, you know, yell whatever. You know, just because I say I don't care if they get hit, like. I'm not going to go out of my way to try to hit them. Like the people sitting in the lawn chairs, like, yes, they were exactly where I throw. I threw, but I had to change my throw up. And of course it was fucking annoying because it's like, well, now I'm in a place that I don't want to be, you know, but like I still avoided them. Even if I didn't care, you know, which I did. If the wind would have carried and it was blowing from left to right and it would have threw my disc into one of them, I mean, it's like, oh, well.
yeah
and I would have apologized and I would have been like, hey, you know, like I understand, but like I warned you guys, and when this is out of my hand, it's out of my control.
And
it's hard to intentionally hit somebody with a disc too, I believe, because they're so easily manipulated. You know, Trav knows from playing any slight change in angle and that disc is gonna just fly
Man, don't
Not
you
weird,
love
I
it
mean.
though when it's like when it's for the better though? You throw and you're like,
Oh, I love it.
yeah, like it's like this feeling of like, I think that was a bad throw in the wind. It's just like hello, and it just like carries it to the left again. It's like, oh,
That's
it's
like
like satisfying.
that's like I told you about my last TikTok that I showed you, and I was like, I came really close to getting on a hole like an ace, which is a
Oh
hole in
yeah,
one.
it's crazy.
That moment, it's weird. It's like when you see your disc like tracking towards the basket like that, you kind of get this like it's the most intense like
It's
rush
a rush, yeah.
of endorphins,
Out of
and like
body experience almost.
yeah, and
Like,
it's just
whoa.
crazy because like you can see it in my video, like when I throw it and I'm just watching, and it's just like, like it's
And that's the
crazy.
fun of disc golf, guys. Like if any of y'all like I have people that want to get into it. I mean a couple. Like I know shout out to John from Big Daddy's World. He's legitimately been thinking about it for like weight loss and stuff, and I told him like, dude, like if anything, like you know, it's just a fun way to like say, hey, I want to go get exercise today, but I don't want to go to a gym. And you go play disc, like you're gonna get exercise. And with all that heat now, man, you're sweating those calories. It's like it's I mean, I kind of dread it personally. Like I dread the summer right now because I know I'm gonna be less inspired to play. I'm gonna be inspired, but I'm gonna have to pick these like windows of like cloudy days because when me and Ron played, that was like a nice kind of slight breeze, cloudy day. It was still hot, but I could tell the difference.
Right.
Like this, yesterday was a straight up like you're cooking a pizza and you're you're in the oven.
Oh my
It,
god.
just bad, really bad. And so I mean, it gets me excited to get through summer and play in the fall and winter because that's my favorite types of weather anyway. Because with the cold, I can get warm, and with playing, you can get warm by just playing. Um,
And it is too. Like you wouldn't think about it, standing on a tee pad and just throwing a disc, but it's a workout. And I think for me, like the biggest takeaway for me with disc golf was like, you know, you can go to a local park, right? You go to the pavilions and you can walk like little trails, whatever. But if there's a disc golf course there, follow the course because it will take you to parts that you would never venture on your own. And I don't know
yeah,
how many times like, I've like played with people at the park that Tristan and I play, and you can see the baskets are out in the open. But people are like, I never knew that this was even here. It's
mhm.
always such a cool thing because you will definitely find just like little nooks and crannies of places, and you're like, damn. And you kind of just take it all in for a moment of like, wow, I would never have thought about this or even coming back here like any other time. It's kind of
Yeah.
cool. It's definitely an experience.
Real quick, hold on. Are you Yeah, you have Snapchat. Hold
I
on.
got Snapchat.
I'm gonna send you what Lucas just sent me.
He sent
This
me a picture.
Lucas, this is why he sent you the same thing.
This is why
Or
Mexicans like guys like white girls.
no, it was something
Uh,
just now. Like what?
okay.
I don't know. I just thought this is funny. I don't know. It just very
I feel like some type of
animated Lucas. Well,
animated.
more of like I've been calling people Toy Story versions of themselves with that. I just like that was so random just now, feeling some type of way.
It's funny because he sent me a meme that I thought he sent to you, and it was like, why Mexican guys like white girls? But never mind. Completely out of context for anybody listening, and
That
you'll
was
never
even
know.
better almost the way I was able to react, just being like, "No, what are you talking about?" Um, but
So
yeah,
I want to talk about something that I tried that you were very disappointed with.
okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I know where you're going with
The
this now.
the Burger King Chicken sandwich. The chicken. I hate the name.
Chicken.
I hate
Yeah,
the
it's
name. I
awful.
hate it. I
Ian
hate it.
says, "I'm coming around to it." I'm like, I'm not.
I don't like it.
All they had to keep was hand breaded chicken sandwich. That's what it was called before, but they didn't want to be the same. Well, then don't name it the same thing from the start.
So yesterday I don't remember what we were doing. We were out and about like all day. We were just hungry. And Trista's like, what do you want? And we left it up to our daughter, and she's like, I want Burger King. I'm like, okay. And I'm pretty sure I've mentioned on here before, I do not like Burger King. Anytime I go to Burger King, it's just I get bad food every time. And it's not just my local Burger King. Every Burger King I go to, I get shitty food. If I get a burger, it's always dry. Like, there's always something wrong. Every time. It just never fails. And I'm just not a fan of Burger King for that reason. It's just like not one of my favorite places to go. There's been times where I've gotten like chicken sandwiches that were just so dry and just so like flavorless. And it's not good. And like, it's just, to me, they're expensive, I think, personally. And I just don't think their quality is all that great. So we go, and I'm like, like Burger King. It was either Burger King or McDonald's. I don't really care for either. I was like, well, I haven't had Burger King in a while. Like, I'm sure I'll find something. So I saw the spicy chicken, and I got it. And the chicken was fine. Like, the chicken breast, it was fine. It was breaded nicely. It was juicy. It was saucy. But the fucking pickles that they put on it.
That's the last thing I expected that to be about.
Well, like
the
first of all,
pickles, like just so mad about pickles.
Well, like I bit into it, and I got, there was like a big pickle, and I like taste. I'm like chewing it. And Trista's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like,
whenever you have the stink face, like eating, it's like
It wasn't even like a stink face, but like the pickles were sweet. Like sweet, like almost like they were soaked in like honey and sugar. And I was just like, what the fuck? And she's like, what? And I like took my sandwich apart, and I was like, is it the pickle? So I like ate the other half of the pickle, and I was like, that, like, there was two or three, like, really just, it just threw the whole sandwich off for me. And it wasn't even that spicy, for one. Like, the McDonald's spicy chicken sandwich, the newer one, kicks my ass. But the Burger King one, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it had all the potential in the world, because I was like, damn, like, it's actually like a good thick piece cut of chicken. It's juicy, it's saucy.
And you had a better experience with the chicken then, because I mean, it just and I do have to take into account, I got mine after work at late at night, so I do understand, but I had to deal with what I could do, and what I could do was like the earliest I can do this is 10 o'clock. So it was what it was. And, I just, and what, and one reason I also laughed at the epic pickles was like, I don't like that these places are literally trying to copy Popeyes, like to a T, where it's like some of the places are doing mayonnaise and pickles, and that's all it is. And I mean, at least, it did have its own sauce, didn't it?
It did. It did have its own sauce.
I was like, I didn't remember that being mayo at all. Because I was trying to think back to my review. Guys, if you want to see me, a guy that literally likes mostly everything all the time and gives pretty positive scores, crap on a chicken sandwich for Burger King, go watch my video, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I'll just say that, just general disappointment, and I don't freaking like that these places are just like pickles and chicken. Like, do your own thing. Do your own thing on it,
Everybody's
like Hardee's.
Their hat in the ring here with the chicken sandwiches. And that's the thing. And this is the way I look at it. You can go to Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, whatever you prefer. I know there's like a debate between them. I like Chick-fil-A. I've never had the Popeyes chicken sandwich, because there's just not a Popeyes close enough to me. Like, the closest Popeyes to me is in Hermitage, Pennsylvania, which if we go to Hermitage to get food, it's always Chipotle. Like, just Popeyes is just never an option. And it's just like, I feel like once you had one chicken sandwich with like the mayo and the pickles, like it does not matter where you go, it's going to be the same experience. It doesn't change. And like, and I always say, I've said every time I go to Burger King, something's fucked up. Our fries were like, they tasted like, when you get French fries from like a restaurant and you try to reheat them and eat them, they're just like not good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was like.
Almost tasteless and all texture.
Yeah. Yeah, and we couldn't even finish our fries. Like we literally gave our fries to our dogs because it was just like they were so bad.
You know, today was actually the first time that I had Arby's. I mean, not the let me just clear that up. Not first time to have Arby's curly fries, but bad curly fries from Arby's. Like I don't know what it was about today, but it was just that kind of experience where it's just kind of chewy, like, and just kind of like, but they're fresh, but they're like this. So it's like, I don't know. I could, and for me, I can never go wrong with like McDonald's fries. I don't know if I've ever had I mean, I may have had McDonald's fries that have sat for a little bit and they're soggy, but I don't know if I've ever had a really bad McDonald's fries experience like they always.
Trista and I get bad fries from McDonald's all the time at both of our locations. Always. It's very rare we get like hot, like fresh out of the fryer fries.
So yeah, it's always depending on location, situation.
It's kind of shitty. And our Dunkin', Trista goes to our Dunkin' all the time. She's always doing mobile orders pickup because she works overnights. So like, you know, and
I use DoorDash all the time, more than I should.
Probably the last like 4 times Trista has gone to Dunkin' to get coffee, it's been bad. Like bad coffee.
I've never had Dunkin'.
She just got some the other day, and she took 2 sips out of it and had to throw out a whole large coffee. She said it was the worst coffee she's ever gotten from there.
Sucks.
And she like put out a tweet and she's like, you know, like I work overnights and I go to get coffee. She's like, I would expect my coffee to be as good as it was if somebody was going there 7:00 in the morning to get coffee. You know?
Yeah, and that's my argument about Burger King. It's like you just make the food the same way every time, but okay. You know, it just, I don't know. Like I said in my video, I could probably go back tomorrow and have it. And Ian left me a comment. Love him, but he was just like, yeah, man, you should try the spicy variant. And he like left it at the end of the comment like, can't wait to hear your thoughts on that. Like he's literally trying to talk me into getting it and possibly reviewing it. And I'm just like, I don't know, dude. Like once you have a bad experience, it's like, you're not motivated to do it again. Like, and whenever I could put that energy and time into another video, and it just, I don't know. I might go, you know, maybe lunch from work or something, more of like a dinner time situation, and get the spicy chicken sandwich, the chicken from Burger King, and just see, but it wouldn't be a video. It's just not, I don't know.
I think you should do it. I think you should do it and get a video on it. Give it a redemption. Because I'm telling you, anytime I've ever gotten a spicy variant chicken sandwich from Burger King, I've always had better luck with the chicken being better in the spicy version than in the original.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
I really think you should give it a shot. And I also think, too, because they like coat it, it's like covered in a sauce. Like it's completely covered. Yeah. Like it's not like they just squirt a little bit of hot sauce on the top of it and be done with it. I mean, like my chicken breast was coated. It was like almost like it was submerged and like a spicy sauce, and I think that really helps with the juiciness too, because it's like seeping in the meat. Yeah, it was good. It was definitely good. I mean, mine is like just the pickles threw it off for me, man. I was like, what the why?
I may just be like, no pickles. I don't know.
It's because like, okay, so my daughter got a chicken sandwich kids meal, and her pickles were like your normal dill pickle taste. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand. Like mine were just like it's. I swear to God, it was like honey. And like I don't know if that's intentional for the spicy chicken sandwich to kind of get like
literally got bad pickles, like just a bad batch of pickles.
I don't know.
Maybe they were actually bad and they just threw them in there without knowing that they're bad. No, you know,
because like I mean, like Trista's were fine, Ryland's were fine. So like I'm just wondering if it's something
you're specifically.
I wonder if it's just something they do for the spicy version. Like I wonder if they have a different type
of that
pickle
spice kind of rubbed off on the pickles or something, and it just doesn't taste right with it. I don't
know. They tasted sweet. Like even alone, like the pickles alone just had a sweet taste. Like I wonder if they're just going for like a sweet heat with it. And I mean, it threw it off for me. Threw it off. If you get it without pickles.
Yeah, if any, you know, I would say that to anybody. And also, if you have had it and you've made it this far in the podcast, we love you. But also, let us know if you've tried it. Just give us those comments. I want to know.
Let us know if you even like.
What's your favorite chicken sandwich out there? If you even like chicken sandwiches, because you know there's the vegans and stuff. So I understand. But you know what? Those of you that are meat eaters, dinosaurs. T-Rexes.
All the T-Rex homies.
The T-Rex homies. I still want to come up with some kind of audience nickname. I still like the weirdos because it kind of rhymes.
The weirdos. We could call them the stragglers. You get some straggly beard hairs. The pubes.
The what? We're not going. We're not. We're not going that route.
What's up, pubes?
Ew.
That's gross. Because like pubes could be anything. It could be like crotch hair. It could be asshole hair.
Oh jeez. Greasy chest hair.
Greasy chest hair. Be like, what's up, all my butthole hairs?
There's probably probably somebody out there on YouTube that does that, and now
there was this
demonetized.
Guy. There was this guy. His name used to be Mr. Black Darkness, and like he started every video with "Hey, all you assholes," and I've never been like so happy to be called an asshole in my life until I watched that guy's videos. I really last time that I heard Lucas call it, because every time he ever made a video or made a vlog where he's like, when he was editing the podcast and all that, he would say the Bearded Brothers podcast. And like, for some reason that still rings in my head where it's like, should we put a dot? Like, just like, where it's like, it's Bearded Bros, but it could also be called Bearded Brothers because it just goes right off the tongue so well. And I'm like, ever since Lucas said that, I'm like, it could technically be kind of like a company logo. Bearded, and it also made me like happy thinking about like Mario or something. It's like Super Mario Brothers. Bearded Brothers. The Bearded Brothers podcast.
But you know, so it's one of those titles that's like, you know, I'm gonna leave that up to everybody. It's like it could just go either way. But it's like I just realized no technical dot there.
I just realized that we didn't talk about the video that you had me watch that I was really excited to talk to you about.
We did this whole podcast without even thinking about it. Next time.
Next time. Yeah, next time, because I really think we can finally use Anthony's thumbnail.
I know. I was thinking about that. Hey, you know what? I don't even know if I have it anymore, so I might have to hit him up again and just be like, hey, because I make my own thumbnails now using the same app that he was using. But
you know what? If you send it to me on Facebook, I can find it in our archives.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's probably there, but yeah. And if not, if some reason it's gone, I can literally hit him up and be like, you want to do the honors of redoing that? We're going to finally talk about aliens.
Hint for the next episode. We're going to talk about aliens.
Cue that History Channel meme guy that's like from freaking 07 or something.
Aliens with the big crazy hair.
Not to give too much away, but if you guys have seen Yes Theory, it's something that they talked about, and it's because they watched a thing on Netflix that made them want to make a whole video about. And so now it's like it's bleeding into this podcast because I was intrigued.
Which, by the way, that episode on Netflix of Unsolved Mysteries, season 1, episode 5, Tristan and I watched that way before Yes Theory even did that video. So like
nice. So you already know that concept.
Yeah. So like whenever they were like, they talked about that, I was like, boom, I'm already like hooked instantly, because like that episode specifically out of that whole first season, like that episode to me was just like, damn. Because well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about my thoughts and everything, in Trav's in the next one.
So just as and not as my recommendation, but I'll just give it as a side recommendation. If you guys haven't watched this video, watch it, and we'll be talking about it next time. I forgot what it's called, but just type in like Yes Theory UFOs or Yes Theory aliens. They did a whole investigation.
They spent 72 hours with people that all witnessed it. And if you just watch that video,
all witnessed basically the same night of like alien type events. So it makes it even more interesting. Over 50 plus
people that didn't even know each other all witnessed the same thing. Crazy.
And UFO stuff is starting to surface again. And I've been watching those like little things about the, the military seeing stuff and the shapes, and everyone's always got the greatest memes and stuff in the comments. Like we have like the most HD like 4K cameras, and every time there's UFOs, it's always like 360p. Yep. And it's like it's always that. But you know what? It's all good. Are we low in the universe? Let us know in the comments. So yeah, I don't know. that'll be next time.
Yes, next time.
What would you say is your actual recommendation?
My actual recommendation is going to be, if you are a movie buff, if you like movies, and maybe like right now because you can't make it out to the theater, stuff's going on, whatever it may be, seriously invest in HBO Max. I'm telling you, I get it free with our cell phone company, so like we don't have to pay for it. I mean, I guess we pay for it because we pay for our cell phones, but like it's really honestly worth it, because not only is there great movies that on the same day they release in theaters, but there's just a lot of great shows. And I personally think right now HBO Max is the superior streaming service. Seriously, look into it. I'm pretty sure there's a free trial out there. I guarantee you after the free trial, you'll be hooked and you'll want to purchase the monthly subscription. It is super worth it if you can't make it out to the theaters and there's a movie you're just dying to watch.
Yeah. A recommendation of mine just kind of came to the surface. I was really trying to think hard. I was like, what is it? I don't know. And then just kind of trying to think of like some recent stuff going on and some inspiration I may have found myself in. 'Cause, I mean, that's one of the beauties of life, is like sometimes inspiration just becomes this surprise and you can use it. And well, dang it! Now another recommendation just came to mind. I'll you know what? I'll save that one because I want to see how that goes for me and put more time into it before I can actually say yes, I recommend this. So let me backtrack. Connect with a friend. If that means just hanging out, like when me and Ryan hung out the other day, it was literally him hitting me up, which is more rare. Like, I mean, no offense to him or anything, but it's usually, he wanted to hang out a few days after that or whatever, but then he didn't know I was off, and it was this whole confusing thing, like where like I was like, dude, like it's Tuesday, and he's like, I thought it was Sunday, Monday. I was like, that's not yet, and like it just was this whole thing. So I was like, I'm off now. You want to just I think we both needed it. Is all I'm gonna say. We hadn't hung out in like quite a while, honestly, maybe a couple months, and I just needed to get out. It was just in a time where just, some stresses and stuff and work and just, just sleep and like just just a lot going on. And so, just be spontaneous. Just randomly hit up a friend and be like, you want to hang out like freaking today or tomorrow, or just something that's like within a close amount of time where it's like it's super out of nowhere. You weren't planning it. Just do spontaneous things, because you never know how much you need it. Rather that's going for a walk or whatever. Just like sometimes your mind just needs a break, and just a reminder of like you're not alone. And that makes it sound like, man, Trav's going through some stuff. But it's, I promise I'm not, and it's okay. I'm okay. But I just think that's important. And me and Ryan have always talked about that amongst ourselves too, of how important that is. And just cherishing other people, friendships, and all that fun stuff. I appreciate Dustin for being a friend.
Oh yeah.
And Lucas.
Same
This
man.
is Lucas is the real man. He's actually been my social media guy. I don't know if you guys have caught on, but we've made a deal, and he's that guy. So he keeps up with all that for me, and that's been like only a true friend would be doing that, would want to do something like that for me. It's crazy. So yeah, like I have not been able to keep up with like being able to do videos, the editing, the posting, the all that, and the thumbnail, and afterwards immediately be like, okay, this is up on, and it's up on Twitter or whatever. But I have seen a better growth through being able to consistently have my videos up on social media. So thank you, Lucas, because you're the best.
Lucas is the bee's knees.
I keep pulling him into doing work for us in some way. I was like, well, now that you're, got a little leave here from the podcast, you want to do something else for me? Basically, in a way. But he was all game for it. So I was like, yes. But anyway, I guess that about wraps it up, guys. Dustin, anything you want to say?
Don't be afraid to hit people with your disc golf discs.
I was like, wait, what is he going with that? Hit people with, and then I didn't know what else.
Hit them with the max distance driver, like 14 speed, lodge it in their fucking temple if they don't move.
Make them feel that heat on the forehead.
It's funny because Trav has a disc called the Heat.
Yep, and that's where I was going with that. And you know what? I threw that thing yesterday and on a couple throws, and I was like, dang, I missed this disc. Like, it was like I was throwing with another disc, and then when I threw it that way again, it was like a great throw. And I was like, is it because of the heat? And it's like your mind, like, sometimes just plays tricks on you. But yeah, I love all my discs. I need to get more. But anyway, guys, like us, share us, tweet at us, love us. Or you don't have to love us. You can just like us. Like it down below. And I'm waiting on that heart button, YouTube. Where are you? Because I would ask you to heart it. But yeah, we'll be talking to you guys next time.
If you heart it, you'll give Trav a heart on.
Okay. We'll see you guys.
See ya.